I start the recording on the Be There Soon screen for like 1 minute. Give me a second. Make sure I got everything set up right. I'm sorry.
You don't worry about it, man.
At least we know how to fix it if it breaks again.
Yes. I'll probably just say something to the effect of "Welcome to a secret stream." Tell me what your characters were going to do before we got
Are we just gonna explore?
Yeah, we were gonna scout out a path.
Well, explain that to the people on YouTube who will see
Okay, so we're headed out to the desert because we are going to essentially scout out
are
the.
we recording now?
Oh,
No, we're just on the Be There Soon screen.
That's why I'm so confused.
Oh.
yeah, I thought we were.
Oh my god, I forgot to turn on fucking desktop audio mic. You know what? We've been doing it the whole time. I don't care. We're going. Welcome to fucking
All right, well,
wacky Thursdays, everybody.
You can always just chop this bit.
Friday.
So,
Whatever. We're doing it live.
okay. Welcome to a secret stream of Tales from the Cosmos. It's not really a stream, it's a recording. But you know what? I don't care. Alright. We have Trikic and Silren. I'll get used to that eventually. Please, what were the two of you going to do as you split off from the main group?
We were going out to the desert to scout out the local area and determine a proper path to traverse the party through the desert in order to get to Farcaller, was it?
Eventually, yes.
Yes. Whether we wanted to go to the Goblinville town or not, that's going to be up to what we find out. Trickig being a goblin might be able to get us in and through, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably entirely depends on how nice the desert treats you.
Yeah, imagine that even with a goblin in the party, we probably don't want to go through Goblin Town.
Why not?
we can meet the Goblin King.
Don't judge them yet.
No, we're not going, Daniel, we're not going down to Goblin Town.
I mean, technically, you are going down to Goblin Town, because this is going to be the capital of the Goblin Empire. Yes.
True.
So, if there were any town to be called Goblin Town, it would be that one. But you guys step through, and stepping through this, mirror-like portal, you are immediately presented with almost, well, the air is much drier. And you're starting in a part of a cave where it's out from direct sunlight and is far enough back from what you assume to be the entrance, you can see daylight down this narrow, it's not really a hallway, it's almost like a tunnel that's been naturally created. But you're far enough back from the entrance where the air is relatively cool here. Just slightly warmer than the Silver Spire. There is no water to be found in, this cave. It seems to be dry as a bone. There's, no running water anywhere on the floor. Floor itself is hard packed. It's not quite stone, but is definitely, not a loose topsoil.
Hold on, I'm just real quickly reading through. Provides subsistence living. Okay, Trickett could provide subsistence living if we ended up stuck out here for a while because he has the forager trait. He's lived in the desert a long time. He knows the places to go, the spots to do lots of goodly digging and find goodly water.
That
or
being
what plants
said,
you can eat without getting horrifically sick.
and Trikic, this does feel somewhat like home.
Yeah, he
I mean, you
probably
can feel the dryness for sure.
he steps out of the cave, little feet squeaking with each step that he takes, and he sticks his little crooked nose out from under his oversized hat and does a little. Smells like skin rash.
Hmm. Well, yeah. How do you smell sunburn, though?
Ancient goblin secret.
Ancient goblin secret. Okay. Um, Silren, you following our intrepid little squeakster?
Unfortunately. Yeah, he follows out,
He
steps out into
actually,
the sun.
like, you guys step out and he actually pauses and probably takes his hat off and holds it up to you. He's like, you light hair, light skin, you burn. Me no burn. You take.
He has a mask covering his entire face.
Yeah, but
He's
not
good.
his head. It's gonna get
A lot
fucking
of hair.
hot.
He'll be
He,
fine.
he just, like, is holding it, and, like, when he's not taking, he just starts shaking it, like, take it.
I'll be fine. He pulls up a little silken hood attached to his clothes.
Grumbles and puts his hat back on, pouts. But he starts.
Working your way towards the front of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a dex. No. Sorry, I
Does
couldn't
he-
resist.
Does he have a good reflex save? It's not bad. It's not
I could not
great.
resist. You're making your way towards this front of this cave, and as you step into not even quite the sunlight, but tangent of it, you feel as if there's this. Well, stepping into this heat, you're like, ah, yep, there it is. There's the desert heat I'm used to. And, well, you're at the opening of this cave, and there isn't really much here at the, the mouth of this cave. There's, well, one of those desert salamanders, the ones that, you look at them and you're like, oh my god, you have one brain cell. And it's dinging around your brain like a DVD screensaver. And it scuttles off, stepping out of, into the direct sunlight. You feel the wind for the first time as it's shifting across this, shifting across the front of this cave. The heat coming down from this bright sun, especially you, Silver. Maybe, I don't know, what is it like for you? Is this your first time in the desert?
Maybe this deep in the desert. Probably.
And it
There's
is
probably been
very deep.
times. Yeah.
It is very deep in the desert. You can taste the sand in the looking out along, there's well, I guess we'll start from back to front. Looking out, you see just miles and miles of these depressing dunes. It's almost as if there's an ocean out slowly shifting in the wind. You see dunes crest and then break down before your eyes. Trickik, you can tell it's a pretty windy day out here. The dunes, depending on the day, will shift maybe, maybe a few feet a day, depending if it's calm. But today is windy enough that, it's very much like an ocean. Taken up and torn down and shifted and moved. It's kind of pretty. Closer to you, you do find, well, there's this kind of down a, not really a pathway, more like a natural incline, kind of snakes its way off of this short, rugged cliffside, is a pool of sand. Silren, I don't expect you to have ever seen something quite like this. You can tell this spot is different because it's bubbling, but it's still sand. It's almost like the sand is a hot spring.
Well, now this is where I'm so glad I actually listed off allies and stuff, because Gulk's Fang, being a goblin, was one of the people that helped train him.
Ah. Well
So
then,
he would know a
Trickik,
little bit about desert. He's been told some things.
you would have probably heard of these deadly sand pits. Trickik, you would know a bit. You would know about these as well. These sand pits have air caverns, and these these caverns underneath are having air pushed in, usually from a natural location somewhere miles, tens, or even hundreds of miles away. And as this air funnels its way through, it's coming to this hole that you see, in the ground. But because of the desert, it's continually trying to fill it with sand. And this air pressure is moving through the sand, forcing it back up to the top, creating this very bubbly, almost sauna. I mean, it kind of looks like a hot tub, but it's made of sand.
Not a fun one.
No. And oh, by the way, there's a statue sitting in.
Mm.
It's sitting cross-legged. It's got both of its hands on its knees and seems to be staring pensively into the cave.
Is there something we could roll to identify the statue?
Of course. Give me a second to figure out what that is, though.
Would it be religion?
No.
Damn.
Ooh. Hold on. Let me do. I didn't think this far ahead. Okay. Oh gosh. Either Arcana or Nature. Nature might help you kind of determine the nature of it.
Oh, he's not good at either of those.
Excuse me. Well, both of you with your nature rolls can tell that whatever this statue was, it's been caked over with layers upon layers of sand. So much that it's almost, I mean, it looks like parts of it have been, it doesn't look as if it's been sandblasted like you would expect it to out here, exposed to the desert. But it very much has had a lot of its features covered and, caked by this sand. What?
I'm just like, all right, yeah, we turn the other way and walk off. No.
Okay.
No, I kid. Do we know what's like in the hole? The little. Wait, wait? You said the statue's staring at the cave, as in the cave we came out of?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant it was staring down into the hole.
No.
I was just like, maybe there's something down there.
No, the sand pit is a ways off. It's probably, a ways off. I'm thinking a quarter mile.
Oh yeah, if this statue's closer, we can just go brush it off and see if we can determine
Oh
more
yeah,
about
it's
it.
pretty much right in front of you, staring
Okay.
at you.
Because Vrokana
Yep.
didn't mention anything about a statue, so.
No, she didn't. And it's probably because, well, I mean, she's not interested in things you can't eat.
Yeah, exactly. But it could be a religious thing dictating what this entrance is, if it's an actual temple or if it is just a cave,
Perhaps
So, yeah.
it's most goodly us for making weight. Let others do, yes?
We should at
We
least.
find path. We know find statue.
It'll be good to report back on. And he will just walk up to try to brush it off. At least try to brush off the face to see if he can determine a race of what the statue was.
He goes to brush off and Trickik takes one good goblin step back.
I've heard of these bombs.
You don't know we're close to Goblin Town. Everything could be a bomb.
True, I love goblins in Pathfinder too.
They're not clinging onto your legs and biting you, they're exploding.
Or catching themselves on fire.
And then grabbing you and biting you.
Well. Alright, you go and maybe brush some of the sand off of this statue's face, and the more you take off, the more you realize underneath it's actually incredibly detailed. And you remove some more, and you feel like, am I destroying this statue? Because it almost feels like, this clay that is on the face of it is deforming under your hands and moving. And then you hit, well, you scrape away a bit of this clay, and that doesn't look like clay. And then its eyes begin to glow.
It's another clay golem. God damn it. No.
Its eyes begin to glow. Yeah, Trickik is like trying to reach out and like tug on Siren's clothes. It's like, we go now, we go now, we go now.
Computer.
This is why I was making
The statue starts shaking its head, and the rest of it, and a lot of that stuff sloughs off. And he looks at you two and says, happy birthday?
Its eyes have begun to dim already into a more natural color.
Statue Tuck! We dead!
Are you getting yourself up off the ground?
Yes, I have to brush off all this sand. Oh.
I am preparing my bow.
Well, let's get a description of your character as you proceed to brush yourself off.
Yeah, well, it's easy to figure why anyone would think he was a statue before, because, well, he was covered in sand and dirt and years, who knows how many years of that. But as he's brushing stuff off, you notice some of the caked on stuff breaks out, and there are sort of angular tattoos on his face, his arms. Out of character, it looks like circuitry. Back into character. And he's wearing something that is not in style. I mean, really not in style remotely. He is wearing a toga. Wears a fucking toga anymore. That's stuff out of history. even for Galarian.
Yes.
Dylan tucks his cosplay toga into his bag. No one? No.
Yeah, Trickik has definitely taken several squeaky steps back and has drawn his hammer, not like holding it aggressively, but more like he's expecting this statue to like try and come after them.
Yeah, I just fought 4 statues, so I've got my bow out, and I'm just like, at least this one talks.
Why that good?
Hello, I am confused. Why are you aiming at me?
Oh, he's not aiming. He just has it knocked.
Oh, why are you so wary?
Because I've had to fight statues in the past, and you just came alive like the rest.
I am not a statue.
Look like statue. Smell like statue.
And unfortunately move like statue. What are you?
I am what is referred to as an android. I am a being whose people came to this place long ago, and I don't know why.
I'll say right up front, Trickik, Thorin, neither of you have ever heard the word android before.
What?
Amboid? What is amboid?
Said android. I still don't know what that means.
That's what me say.
You would call it my race. We have these. He points to the circuit tattoos.
I've seen people with tattoos, but never with strange material for flesh.
It is all right. I am still alive, or I mean, I am alive again.
Are you some kind of golem with its own mind?
No. He die, come back. He undead.
Undead
No,
don't have bodies like that.
no, our people die when they choose to release their body. And if, at some point, a new soul comes in, and we are new. Happy birthday to me.
It seems like almost like elves. That is understandable.
He points up
Except-
at Silrin and is like, he elf. Me, goodly goblin. And holds out a little hand, his arm making like a little squeaky toy noise as he does so, and says, Am Tricket good money, goodliest of priest of Torag.
Confused? I will say, both of those names sound familiar. You can look at this thing and say, yeah, that's a goblin. That's an elf. I don't know why I know that, but
Does the elves,
Okay.
or do the goblins he know typically squeak when they move?
He doesn't know. But he
But
knows.
I mean, he could.
maybe by
Yeah.
instinct, he does this. He says, Pleased to meet you in Elven, and you as well. It is good to meet you in Goblin.
Ooh. Gives a little clap.
And yeah, I mean, you guys both recognize that is, well, okay. I'm just going to call you confused because that's the only way you introduced yourself by.
He's about to. I am
Okay.
57 Rang ER. However, you may call me Stranger.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. I hate it.
I love it. Oh.
Perhaps eventually we should settle on something other than stranger. That may become odd for people.
What are you buying, stranger?
I love it. No, all right. Stranger.
Everywhere we go, what are you strangers doing here? How do you know my name? Do we kill this one? He knows my name.
Now, stranger, I have a question for you. When you speak
Yes.
in those languages, what is it like? Is there your own dialect slash accent with it?
Assumed it was
Is
like
it one of those clinical, like, yes, this is the proper way to speak Elven as, taught by, is it one of those, or is it
Yeah, it's
maybe
that
somewhere in
way.
between?
It's
Okay.
that second way. It's because it's kind of like, know how people
Google Translate.
quote unquote speak Latin,
Yes.
but really it has not been a living language in a long time. That sort of thing.
It's like Google
Yeah.
Translate.
Well, I was going to
But
say, for
more
Trickic
accurate on the word.
especially, Trickic, you're taken aback. This person has taken the time to, like, not condense anything into contractions. Which, the goblin language, for your mind, you're like, no. We contract everything because
don't
that
do that
means
here.
more information in a smaller,
We don't
you
do
know,
that.
fewer words equals more info, So to hear someone actually, to go through and make it so not clinical, but the way you would, maybe chastise a child,
Oh my God.
No, the right, you know, n- you know,
He's Captain Holt.
Not can I have use the restroom? May I use the restroom? Kind of thing.
Yeah,
But,
he's Captain
just
Holt.
Captain Holt.
Brooklyn.
The proper, all of everything is proper, and all of the conjunctions are followed. Whereas, the way you've grown accustomed to it, it's all kind of contract those, contract these, this, that, and throw it together. And it doesn't matter if we used 3 different verbs for one noun. It's okay. And 7 descriptors that are actually one word. That kind of thing. And I mean, same thing for Silrin and the Elven. Like, oh yes, this is very very proper.
Both.
Sure.
To be fair,
it's a formal Elven speak, not necessarily as if you were talking to someone you didn't know or an authority figure. Maybe not the way you'd talk with your friends.
It's the language he grew up with. He gets it.
Okay, fair enough.
That part actually came out normal for him. He was just like, "Oh, we're doing this."
Trickett probably frowns at the goblin and is like, "Man, he speak like Uplander. Still smell like statue. Why you here, stranger? Why you sit be statue?"
I assume I came here to die.
You seem to have failed.
I seem to have succeeded, as I am renewed now and do not have memories of a previous life.
A new soul has taken over.
Trickett does look over.
It is correct.
Silrin at that with a look that's like, I told you, I'm dead.
It's similar to an elf is born when an elf dies.
That makes no sense. He throws up his hands with a little squeak.
Now that sounds like it needs a society roll for him to make sure he's
just trying to show off. Okay.
So you think you're combing through these fragments of not even like memories, but like sound bites, and you maybe you get like a clinical answer from almost like someone's reading from a textbook, and it goes, "In many ages past, it has been seen that that there are it is seen in Elven society that there can be upticks in birth rates. Generally, these such people prepare for the worst when this happens, as it forebodes, a disaster on the horizon." Which, depending on what you say,
means the same thing.
Do you actually know like how old you are, like out of character?
Oh.
Okay. The toga really throws me off, so I mean, I'm not sure.
Good old amnesiac background.
No, I meant like out of character. It's fine.
Oh, same. It's all up to Cyrus.
Okay, because if it's only 400 years.
Well, just looking, at what's happened right now so far, just looking at your character sheet, I have a pretty good idea. We'll just put it that way.
Okay. All right. Well, now that you're awake, do you know what you plan to do?
Oh, I believe I plan to accompany you now, since you are the first people I have met.
Is
that
goodly
is probably
Crusader
best.
come to help us fight and vanquish evil Bob?
It's probably best too. He would starve and dehydrate before too long.
Stranger, you heard the name Bob. That rings a bell. You don't know what bell, but it rings a bell pretty damn loud. And it's not a good bell either.
The name Bob is badly familiar. I do not know why.
Probably another one of his, well, from what I understand, toys.
Bob is most badly of all dwarvies. Have big beard, full of big lies. Tell many things, none true. We find, and he pulls out his little hammer, me smash.
Oh,
Most
And,
Bobs.
maybe since you've got a chance to get your bearings right now, stranger, please make me a perception check.
Okay.
This is just for you.
No, I'm gonna make one anyways. Fuck you know.
Somehow, I wouldn't be surprised. Ding.
It's
Got
a
him.
classic. Make a perception check. Everyone just rolls it like I was going to say. Just the rogue.
Stranger, now that you've gotten your bearings, one, this place feels familiar, as in, I know this place familiar, but can't remember why or what it is. Second, there's some feeling that's tugging you towards.
Towards where? I lost you.
Oh, sorry. Here, let's pull that closer. There is some feeling that is tugging you towards the pit. Maybe you
Well.
turn to look at it and there's something drawing you to it. As if there's something really important.
This pit has something that I think I need, but I don't know what it is or why I know this.
Stranger become new stranger if stranger go in pit. Pit is badly.
Is is this pit considered like the next step of difficult terrain? I think it's extreme terrain.
No, this would be considered actually an environmental hazard. Yeah, not even extremely difficult terrain. Like, you're gonna have to start making me, well, to me, reflex saves don't work for brute strength,
Probably
No, that's fine.
athletics checks, wouldn't it be?
but
Silverin
it
will
would
just
be.
ask. He'll just say, "Do you know is it something small that you need?"
I do not know.
Whatever it is, it's, it's calling, drawing you towards it.
It
Oh, and you're
is.
incredibly hungry. I forgot about that. You know, being dead for a while does.
I was about to
Does he actually
ask,
get hungry?
do androids
Yes.
need food?
Yes, they
Well,
do.
I was
What a
going to say,
bad
stranger,
android.
as far as you know, yes, yeah, you feel hungry and thirsty.
I have something drawing me towards the pool.
And
Also,
maybe about this point, you start getting the sensory overload. You finally start recognizing, as well as systems inside of you are finally, you know, referencing each other and going, oh, okay, this is how we work and do things together. You get it all at once: the wind, the sun, the taste of the grit in the air, the feeling of, something solid underfoot. It all comes crashing down on you at that moment.
While he deals with an existential crisis, how big is the hole?
It's pretty good sized. We're gonna say maybe, oh, 250-foot diameter, not diameter, radius, so about 500 feet across.
Oh shit. Okay. Um. Yeah. I'll just I'll look to the other two. I'll just be like, well, have we kind of walked towards the hole by now, like to the edge of the
Have you
shifting?
guys? There's a path that leads down. Do you guys do that?
Wait, is this like shifting sand and then a hole that's 500 feet, or is it like shifting sand and a hole together are total 500 feet?
So you notice around this area, it seems to be a bed of rock. And so near here, up to the pool and around, seems to be rock that's got some sand flowing over it, kind of on the ground. The way you might see mist move across the ground.
Okay, and can
But
we get
other, what's that?
can we safely get to the edge of the hole, or does it stop like?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, you can safely get to the edge of the hole. You can go all the way around this hole if you want. You know, when I say this thing is a quarter mile away, it's just that quarter mile because you're going to have to go down this kind of windy path.
Okay, I thought it was like an antlion hole where like there's the tiny hole and then a bunch of shifting sand sinking down,
Oh
and
no,
then no way to get down. Okay,
this is almost like a small pond that is bubbling.
but we can walk across it to the center where it dips or it goes into a hole.
Well, you can. So let me. All right, let me draw. Let me draw.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. I am having bad image capabilities.
You're good. All right. Okay. I'm drawing real fast, so this looks somewhat. Oh, this looks so fucking bad. Shape, please.
I need to real quickly look up the rules for
Okay.
unbreakable goblins.
How are you doing as soon as things start settling in, our android friend?
Well, he stops moving for quite a while that's happening, and it's like he's back to being a statue. He's so still. And when he starts moving again, he starts looking around and wants to find out all he can about this room, since it's basically his birthplace now. Let's see. Wants to find out, figure out if there's anything all magical about it, and that's the best way to go when it comes to trying to survive that pit. And he's going to use this.
Let's see.
5 recall knowledge actions.
At once. So it's going to be arcana, occultism, nature, religion, and survival.
Okay.
Let's go.
Make those rolls. Make those rolls. Okay, you guys are up here.
Yeah.
Up here.
There we go.
By the way, how deep of the hole did you say it was?
I don't think we can tell from here.
Oh, you have no idea from here.
Because good thing about being an unbreakable goblin is you treat falls as half the distance.
Well, the problem is this: you wouldn't be falling per se. I mean, you would slowly be sinking. It's like quicksand. You know this as much. It would be like going through quicksand.
Oh, I thought there was like an open hole in the middle.
No. So you guys are up here on the cliff. There's this winding path that goes down, and it heads to this. By the way, this rectangle here is roughly this this solid rock that you can see, but outside of it, there are these shifting sands. And yes, there's this pool, and actually, it is about this shape, roughly circular. That it's got this bubbling from.
Okay, see, I was just gonna fly into the hole, but if it's bubbling, I can get a swim speed, but
That doesn't look like sand. That looks like flesh.
The flesh pool.
It still doesn't look like sand, but that's okay, I guess.
Oh no, it's full of tang.
Delicious. I dive right in.
Well, and I've got a blue filter on my screen already, so it's already different than what you guys can see. No. You know what? We're going to make it blue. How's that sound?
Oh boy,
Yeah,
now it's
this-
full of Baja Blast.
Now,
God
this
damn it.
winding little path, you can see steep drop-offs on either side. It looks like this path was not necessarily carved, but leveled to make it possible to actually get up here. Alrighty, so let's take a look at those. Nature, survival, Arcana, occultism, religion. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and remind me, you're basically trying to see, one, what this place is, two, if there's if there's a safe way to get into the sand, correct?
Yeah.
If there's any magical. So let's start with the Arcana. Is there anything magical about this place? Right now, no. You aren't feeling any. You aren't noticing the signs of active magic. Now, there very well could be latent magic, but latent magic is almost impossible to find until it's been active. Especially if it's not meant to act as a trap or a deterrent, more or less. Most traps are deterrents. They want you to see them. That's why you're able to detect that kind of latent magic. There's no seals, no symbols, nothing to suggest that this place has any magical property to it. And as for that nature roll, you surmise that it could have had once upon a time, but everything is so eaten up and sandblasted by the winds and this, the grit in the air, that, it could maybe once upon a time. It's almost impossible to tell. As for the the survival, let's see. The same goes for the occultism and the religion. Your mind maybe goes to one trail of trying to, go into maybe a little bit of a philosophical bent, thinking about, okay, what's the point of having this winding thing when you could have just created a straight road, up to here, but you've chosen the winding path that follows the curves instead, that kind of thing. But maybe you discard that as, okay, that's not helping me right now. I can wax philosophical later. Let's see. As for the nature and the survival, you know that those shifting sands are pretty deadly. Moving through them is let's just say you move down about as far per move as you do across. So if you step into it, already you've sunk, well, not maybe as far, but if you're going to get 5 squares, you'll be up to your knees as soon as you've gotten, so if you start here, start here, as soon as you've gotten about 10 feet in, or that far in, you're going to be up to your knees by 15 feet, and I know this is wrong. You're going to be up to your elbows. You're going to be up to mid-chest, and by 20 feet, there's really no coming back for it without help. Very dangerous stuff. Now, as for this path, it is man-made. Once upon it. It, again, has been sandblasted to hell to where you can't really see. It's been sandblasted smooth. Once upon a time, it might have had steps to it, but it's just been sandblasted into this gentle downward gradient. Anything else that you're thinking about? Yeah.
Would you count sand as stone?
For what
the
purpose?
purposes of the spell Stone Tell.
And what does that do?
We're
You
standing
ask
on
questions
stones.
and receive answers from natural or worked stone. While stone is not intelligent, you speak with the natural spirits of the stone, which have a personality colored by the type of stone, as well by the type of structure the stone is part of if it is worked. A stone's perspective, perception, and knowledge give it a worldview different enough from a human's that it doesn't consider the same details important. They can mostly answer questions about creatures that touched them in the past and what is concealed beneath or behind them.
We are standing on stones.
And I will say that this whole plateau is sat upon stone. So I would say the sand pool itself isn't going to provide you an answer, but the surrounding stone might.
Then I think that's what I'll do.
I'll give them the information I gleaned in that second of looking around.
Oh, yeah, I put how many minutes into that talking? 5? And I didn't even give you the reasoning or thought process behind half of it. I didn't tell you why you were able to just surmise that this was, not naturally made and instead steps that had been sandblasted into oblivion, but
Yeah, it's probably really freaky. It's like, wait a minute, we just got here. We've been here longer than you've been awake, and you figured this out.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Also,
yeah.
does anyone have any that would work to lower someone in and pull them out?
Perhaps we waits first. Me have idea. And he's going to cast a Stone Tell, and he's going to ask the plateau what's hidden underneath the sand trap.
Can you put the spell up on screen just so I can reread it real fast?
No, because I don't have any of my spells up, but it said, what did it say exactly? That the stones have a different perspective than people, but they'll usually answer questions about what has touched them. Oh, stones can mostly answer questions about creatures that touched them in the past and what is concealed beneath or behind them.
Alright, Stone Tell.
I got you. I put it in chat.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, not a problem. I was just trying to decide what talking to a rock is like.
Probably very boring.
What kind of rock is it?
Yeah, what kind of rock? What kind of rock is it, Gunner? I need specifics.
Because if it's like marble, it might be a little uppity, like. Ah.
And then you quickly tell it the only reason anyone values you is because you're albino.
Oof. If it's like a porous stone, then it would be like super airheady.
This is granite. Most of this is granite. None of that
stubborn.
shitty limestone.
It's talks like Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four. Gotcha.
Granite is stuck up and stubborn. That's how I see it. Just like you said, that not like that shitty limestone or that prissy marble.
So, who speaks to me?
It is I, Tricket Goodmoney, priest of Torag, come to ask question of what is hiding in Sandy Pit.
A long moment passes. She doesn't want to talk about it.
She?
That's what she
Sandy.
says.
Who is she?
Sandy.
Another long moment. She says she doesn't talk about it.
I love it.
What can you talk about?
Your feet taste weird.
Uh-huh.
or like chewing gum.
How long has Stranger been here?
Before me.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Woo.
A temple was erected around you in your honor. You were a god. You just did not know.
So, cannot say what is in Sandy Trap. Cannot say much about Sandy Trap. Is bad to go in Sandy Trap?
Probably. But I'm a stone, not a cop.
Any
I'm a
advice
doctor, not a
that you may
player.
give me, O wise and noble stone?
Handle her gently. She bites.
Thank you, most wise and friendly stone.
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say it. Back to sleep. Okay, so
And he will relay the information that he learned from the rock, including the fact that the rock is, in fact, not a cop.
he
It's
said
short
he
for
wasn't a
copper.
cop, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, ARAB, all rocks are bastards.
Oh God.
he
No,
has to
let's
tell us
not use
he's a
that.
cop. He's a cop, so
Let's not use that because that's somebody that no, we don't know.
that's Roxist.
No, because that means no, we're not using that,
Oh,
okay?
let's stop.
Yeah. Let's not. Please. I like what viewership we have.
I didn't even think of that.
No,
Uh-oh.
I know you didn't, and I did. That makes me the bad guy, right? I don't know. Okay. But but yeah. So, well, did I answer everybody's questions? Stranger.
Well, mine are answered because I don't got anything.
So we do not have a rope. But
Well,
we have a
no,
rock that is not a cop.
we have rope. It's basic adventuring gear. At least Silverman would have it with him. Probably should get rid of it anyways. Since we're about to travel a desert, he shouldn't be carrying a bag full of shit.
Are you guys gonna go ahead of the rest of your people?
I wasn't sure. I guess we don't have to if we're here. Like if we scout the opening area, uh, we can solve this little riddle, and then wait for them to come through. Because we don't know when they'll come back, when they'll be ready to go. So we don't want to be halfway through the desert and they're like, "We're ready!" Ping, and we're like,
Hmm.
So yeah, we could
Alrighty.
just scout this area out, figure out what's in the hole.
Okay.
Yeah, probably best that we just scout the immediate area, make sure they're not going to wander into anything dangerous other
Fair
than the
enough.
hole.
We could lower
Are
the
people's
android in.
character sheets coming up for them? Because
Yeah.
for me, it's not.
Oh, I actually do have a rope listed as my items.
There we go.
Because I need rope for my
Sorry.
I need rope for my grappling arrows.
Okay.
Stranger looks around a bit. If I were choosing this place to die and knew, because it is the way, that I would renew, I would try and give myself something thing. He goes over to right by where he was sitting, sort of digs around in the dirt,
What are we
pulls out a
looking for?
pack. My
Okay.
items.
Okay.
Yep, items and what looks like a medium-sized walking staff.
Hmm.
I have a bag of holding. I forgot. I don't have a
You
backpack.
also find something else in that bag if you look.
Sure.
You find a stone tablet. Or I guess it'd be a clay tablet.
I bring you 15, 10 commandments.
Unfortunately, don't be a dick was on the 15th. Was the 15th commandment. Oh well. Okay.
So, can I read it?
You can. Matter of fact, you have a vague notion that you recognize the handwriting. It's not yours, but it is somebody's, and it's not necessarily handwriting. What it?
Probably not necessarily not
Well,
mine
because
because it's not like I've written anything yet.
well, it's a carving, so kind of like a, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's would it use a stylus to write on a clay tablet or how that works. I forget. That's kind of out of my area of history. My area of history is several thousand years.
Probably a stylus because you don't really need an entire chisel.
Yeah, it would have been. They were called stylus. Basically, they would just take the end and press it into wet clay, then let
Gotcha.
it bake.
So, but in the stylus is written if in the stylus in this clay tablet, it's most of it is faded, unfortunately. However, you're able to make out a few bits of pieces and inference the rest of it with your smarty skills. Potentially. If you would go ahead and roll me, oh gosh, I guess it would be perception again. My. Perceptione. Okay. It says, in case of emergency, something something, egress, something something, barring that, something, something something, strike gem, something something, something, fountain.
I've been playing too much Control. Instead of something, I'm just imagining the little redacted black bars of everything.
Oh.
Literally everything you find is like redacted, redacted. I went to redacted, and then they redacted, and they redacted. It's like, the hell am I trying to read this for?
Right. Let's see here. Anything else on that tablet? Fountain, something, something. A name you're not familiar with? You assume? I mean, it's capitalized, and this is in is it called Androff? That's your native language.
Androphan.
What's that?
Androphan.
Androphan. I'm sorry.
Androphan.
Yep. Sorry.
It's in robot talk. Gotcha.
It's ones and zeros. Got it.
In Androphan, it's capitalized, so you know it's either a noun or a name, and you can't immediately think of a word that would fit in this spot, but it starts with a, well, I guess in our alphabet it would start with like a D, and then and it is signed off best wishes, Magister.
Okay.
Sorry, 56 Magister.
Gotcha.
So,
he'll. Well, it won't have to show them. Tell them about it.
What does he tell? What does he tell them about? Just so I make sure I've conveyed things correctly.
That this may have been from his predecessor, the soul that previously lived in that body, and there's something about leaving in somewhere egress. Something about a gem. Something about striking, and something about a fountain.
Do you have any gems on you?
Oh, he checks to see if there's any actual gems in his bag.
Nope, none on you.
And he says, then only the one on my ring, and that doesn't. Ring is magic. Why do I know that? I do not know why I know that.
Whether you know why you know or not is good to know that you know that you know.
I just kind of look to the pool. I'm like, well, how long can anyone hold their breaths?
I have a spell for that.
Water breathing doesn't count.
Air bubble. Where is it? It's a first
But
level
it's
spell. Air bubble.
more-
Yeah.
More concerned about the fact that thinking, processing, coming back up if you have 2 castings of it.
Yeah, I have 3.
I thought clerics were prepared.
Are they prepared?
If they aren't, then I've been screwing up.
Then you're probably right. Fuck. Me bad.
It's okay. I was like, wait, shit,
The
because
problem-
Samir could have been so much more awesome. I'd have so many more spells.
The problem more is it's only got a range of 60 feet and they have to be in your range and can't breathe in order to use it.
I'm putting in a video on Cosmos just to kind of give you a sense of what this looks like.
It does last for a minute though.
But if we go down and start combat, that's the worry.
It says, a bubble of pure air appears around the target's head, allowing it to breathe normally. The effect ends as soon as the target returns to an environment where it can breathe normally. So it'd already have to be
Oof,
suffocating.
Yeah, I know that video.
Okay.
I watch a lot of Mark Rober's videos.
But so yeah, it's very much like that. So, plan?
I'm about to go get a hot tub.
And fill it with sand?
Yes! It's amazing.
But so that does show you just how
So, would a swim speed work then in this sand, since it's kind of like a thicker water?
the problem is I don't know how your buoyancy is going to work there. Part of the reason we're able to swim is because of our natural buoyancy, at least part of it.
Seems a lot of the stuff seems to float.
Well, yeah, because it's got air displacement with it.
Right. So it would actually be more getting down, it seems.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's going to be your issue. And then once you're there, trying to claw your way back up.
Oh, if they were just about to drop a cinder block into it, and then it cut away. That would be the ultimate thing.
So, that being said, yeah, go ahead and. Well, okay. So, what is plan? I keep distracting myself.
And it's not complete.
Oh wow, that cinder block
we all
just
probably
was...
have rope because we all have adventurers packs, which I think have like 50 feet of rope.
Yeah, and I actually do specifically have rope. It's like on my character sheet because I need it for grappling arrows.
Now, something to point out is there are it's like 250 feet.
So will we have that much? And if
Do
we
you
try
have to? Yeah.
lower him, Do androids need to breathe?
Yes.
Yeah, they still need to breathe.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you
your
have
breath.
1 minute to get down there.
Well, you can hold your breath 5 plus your Constitution modifier in rounds.
Now, I will say, look, I will show you this one more time. You can get right down here to the edge.
Right. We could actually be down there already because you had to ask the stone
Maybe,
anyways.
yeah, maybe that's what you guys do, if that's all right with you. It is
Sure.
literally, it's like a lake. It's got this little shore line that ebbs and flows. Now, as for Trickik, you would probably know a little bit more about these pits. In some ways, they're kind of like a lake. They do have a shallow end, but in other parts, like like the center or near it, because there's that funnel of air that's moving up from the bottom, it could go hundreds of feet.
But it sounds like we need something down there very important.
Now that you're down at this level, stranger, it's not so much down as it's out. You feel as if it's, something out there on the lake. Lake of sand, yes. Out. Maybe not very deep, but towards the middle.
All right.
Soren can fly out to the middle at least.
Actually, I was
that's
just
true.
thinking, I was like, I could fly and lower you, looking to trick it because you're small. In there, if it's
I tell them that I don't think it's all the way in the center, but it's out there at least.
Me can hold breath, or me can use magics to breathe.
I can lower you down until you find it.
The question
So,
is, would
are
I
we
be able
going
to
to
see in there?
No.
Oh, definitely
Oh.
not. No.
You
So,
can feel
are you
around.
going to try and use water breathing as sand breathing?
No, air bubble.
Air bubble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would just not be able to use it until I'm already in a place where I can't breathe.
Which means,
okay.
you'd have
5 plus my Constitution modifier, which
minus
is...
2.
Oh, minus 2?
Because plus your con modifier minus 2 because casting a spell uses 2 air. That's how much air you have, and that's like per round. So yeah, just
5 plus 4 minus 2. So 5 plus 2. So 7 rounds, and then I could breathe.
yeah. Then you cast it. If you even need to cast it by then.
And does the air bubble make a bubble of air around you?
It goes just around your head so that you can breathe normally.
All right. So, yeah, you still wouldn't be able to look unless you like dragged your head along the bottom. Wait till you hit something.
The only other option is if a swim speed would work, I can gain a swim speed of 40 feet. And I could swim around in there.
For how long?
1 minute.
Yeah, that's how long
that's
my
10
air bubble lasts.
So that's 10 rounds, which means if you were just going to the center, you could get there, and then you would get 150 feet back. With no exploration. So just think about that.
I can recast it.
You said the whole thing is 250 feet wide?
500 feet wide is the diameter.
Ah, okay.
I'd have a swim speed of 40 feet. Each turn though would be 120 feet. If you wanted to say it'd be difficult terrain, that'd be fine. Understandable. Like not difficult terrain as in the standard difficult terrain, but unavoidable difficult terrain because I avoid it. It's weird. I have where is it? Because I have this, but as you said, it's more of a hazard, not difficult terrain. So even swimming through it, I could understand that it had to be a little slower if it was like weird. It's not. If not, we can, like I said, we can lower Trickik down. I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, like I'm fine with us flying and using Trickic for that at first. See how that works. Because basically, I have 24 rounds to find it.
I'd have a minute of holding you before I'd have to recast the spell.
Ah,
Mm,
How much rope did you say you had?
well, we've got at least 50 each from our adventure packs. Or is it 30?
It's 50. I looked it up. I probably would have gotten more, but I'll get more later. I'm not too worried.
That's 100 feet of rope.
I'm going to be more inclined to allow. I don't know. The swimming is a little bit hard for me to justify. Sorry.
But yeah, it gives me a fish tail is why. That's why I was like, I actually transformed my body. I've become a mermaid.
So yeah, you can fly and just drag Trickic along until he finds it.
40 feet of movement. That's 3 actions a turn. I can get us out there in what, 1 turn?
Probably.
And spend, say, 7 turns. And then spend the next 2 turns to be getting back safely for round 2 if we still haven't found it by then.
Well,
I
all
love
right.
this. Bobbing for apples.
Well, is this the plan we're going with?
Yep, sounds like it.
Yes, sounds like a plan.
Well, you grab Trickic,
Let me
find
cast.
him very much like a chew toy.
Oh, I
Oh
tie
yeah,
him
he
to a
makes
rope.
you pick him up and it's like squeak.
I gotta tie you to a rope and carry you that way.
You cinch up the rope. Squeak.
So I will use
Tricky.
Animal
Squeak
feature.
once if you're okay.
and that'll give me. Oh, there's wings. You gain a fly speed equal to your land speed.
Nice. You are able to fly him on out there. Yeah, that's not hard to get him out there. It takes a few seconds, if much. And you got him dangling by this rope. Trickic, you probably are lifted just a few feet off this sand and feel yourself gliding along, kind of pushed and swaying through the wind like you're a giant pendulum.
Oh, he's got his arms out. Whee! He's never gotten to fly before.
Hey, there you go. But pretty soon you're over, by your estimation, Silren, roughly over the center.
Hold your breath.
He takes a big goblin breath and holds it and screws his eyes shut and is already flailing his arms around like he. So when he's in the sand, he can already be searching.
I just dip him in. Probably like 10 feet at first.
It is
give him
an
some slack.
odd sensation, Trickic. It's not water, but it sure feels like it in its consistency. It's flowing over and around you, getting into everything. You're pretty sure you're going to have to de-sand by the time you're done. And the pack on your back, oh, it's going to be a nightmare.
I think he would have left that. Would you have left that on the
Yeah, I
shore?
probably would have left my backpack behind. Anything that would make me too extra heavy.
Okay. At the very least, your clothes
Oh,
are
yeah.
going to need to be completely, shaken out.
Shoes, hat, mask, hair.
Oh no, he left the hat behind and he's got
Oh,
no
yeah, that's
hair.
Oh gosh. All right. Make me a search roll. Well, first you let it get up to your chin, and then the top of your head, and now you're suffocating.
I got
Holding it,
7
right.
rounds. So search is just
Alrighty.
perception, right?
Is there an investigation roll, or is that still perception?
It's still perception, or any
Oh my God.
skill that you think. Yeah, seek is perception. Be a
Right.
seek action.
Now, here's
let's-
where perception is funky because there's multiple types of perception.
Yes.
Um,
Can we do
there's
perception with a... Let's do a survival modifier.
so just survival. Oddly enough.
Actually, no. They're two different things, I think.
Well, no, initiative is what you can do, what you can roll with every skill. So, like, I can do society initiative. Let me see if actually
And
Perceive
it's
does
the
it.
same thing with perception, because it's showing up on Trickix as a...
Oh no, mine still rolled my regular perception modifier.
Okay, a 38. Alrighty.
Nice.
Now make that 7 times 3. Make that 20 more time. No.
You feel, you pretty soon you can't see anymore. This air bubble is going around your head, and you can just see, it's almost like you're inside a massive hive of hornets, except, you can't see them. You see this just swirling around you, and your feet touch something solid. They kind of slip around it, and then maybe you dunk, find purchase on, just below whatever your feet were slipping on.
Oh,
And you're able to...
he probably spins around and tries to grab at whatever that was and see if he can pull it with him.
Well, you grab it, and you realize this thing is much bigger than you had first thought. It's solid. You're able to put your feet and you put your weight on it. And where you've got your arms grabbed around, it's large and smooth. And as you bring your face to it, you're able to see. Because this thing is glowing.
Uh-oh.
Guess what color it's glowing?
Green.
Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
It's a crystal, isn't
A
it?
soul gem. Giant
It
soul
is
gem.
firmly mounted to the top of what looks like a short spire of some sort, and it is kind of blinking on and off this dim green.
That's worrisome. Would I be able to draw my hammer down here and try and break it off?
Maybe not your hammer. Do you have something? Well, is it a one-handed item?
It is a one-handed item.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, he'll draw his hammer and he'll try and smash it off. Like, he'll try to break hit it right where it meets the, right where it meets the little spire that it's on and pop it off.
Make me an attack roll.
Please.
Nice.
It does sonic damage, which I think does hurt structures.
Remember how we said this would go longer if you guys fought something? Roll initiative.
Well, it glances off this gem. But as you strike it, it begins to shine brightly. And what time is it?
9:30.
Are we okay to go a little longer?
Yeah, I'm good.
Up to you guys.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Okay. You strike it, and it begins to glow brightly. Oh, let's see here. 1 second. I just realized I forgot to play Android music. There's your Android music.
There's Android music. I
Yeah.
can hear that.
Is it Android music or what?
It does do... Wait, no, wait. This isn't the song that goes beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep.
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Quite androidy.
Beep, boop, boop, bop, boop, boop, bop.
Next up, Flight of the Conchords robots.
All right,
The
but
humans
that
are
being the
dead.
case, a new song is about to start. Not that song.
Do I need to start pulling on the thing saying, get me out, get me out, get me out?
Yeah,
Hold on.
it's the Doom fight music.
If it's fire in the flames, I'm getting out.
Oh, no. Someone might recognize this. Who knows? Because apparently I didn't have it ready, so I'm getting it ready. Sorry. Oh, come on, hurry! But, so you feel this, you feel the sand around you start to turn into something else. And before you realize it, this sand is turning into water. It starts very slowly and then bursts out in this fashion, and you find yourself, soaking wet.
That actually probably helps with the sand a little bit.
Well, the sand that was disturbing you has turned to water.
Drenched.
I'm
Yeah.
soaked.
Y'all wet.
What's that like for everybody else?
I'm
what's
just
that
like,
like for...
I can see you now.
Well, I was gonna say, Silrin, you watch. You see a small green light that quickly expands and blows up all the way out to the edges of this bedrock, and you see crystal clear water. And this, well, it's a fountain with this glowing green gem on it at the bottom. And Trickic, this thing slowly starts to rise out of the water with you on it.
Hey! Didn't have to use
Stranger,
spell slot.
stranger, this sand beneath you is no longer sand and bedrock. It's cobblestone and grass. You can see it the clearest, Silrin, up there. Everything around you has changed. Where there used to be nothing, there are these buildings. Stranger, you find yourself on the edge of this rather large pond. And you hear voices. Lots of voices. Busy voices.
You just transported us to another time zone.
This is the second time that mystical shits happen when Drake hits stuff.
Maybe it's not stuff. Maybe it's your hammer.
Okay, so this is the music I've chosen. What?
It's not playing, but I recognize the name.
Oh no.
Let me reconnect real quick. Let me actually reconnect. Oh, now that I refresh, and it's about to refresh. Like, stupid thing.
Yeah, yeah. There are people around you, stranger. People you kind of recognize. And Siren, for your part, yes, this has suddenly evolved below you into a sprawling green field dotted with buildings. In this pond seems almost like it's the center of this, the heart of this little town. There's cobblestone that quickly gives way to rolling green pastures. You look back at this cave, and it's no longer, this worn, natural-looking thing. It almost looks like a temple built into the side of this rock. This green, this, I guess, frame shift, if you will call it that, ends about, where the bedrock ends, and out of it you still see desert, nothing but desert. but there's somewhat of this barrier right on the edge that
Like
almost
someone just like
shimmers very.
chunked a part of a town and slapped it down
Yeah,
in the middle of the desert.
yeah, basically. Except, yeah, the sand pit is now a very deep and clear pool. And there's a fountain. Trickik, you rise from the water, sputtering, I'm sure, as, it sits in pain. And you look, and you're in the middle of a town.
He's still busy, like, he's holding this gem and pulling back every now and then going,
It is stuck. So, stranger, what are you doing?
I think it's time to make those rolls, those exact same rolls again to see what the hell just happened. What kind of
Sure.
magic did it?
Let's do it.
Type of sorcery is this?
Maybe you're taking the time to process this as Trickik and Silrin are coming back. As you land,
Silrin's probably like trying to pull me along with him as he's flying back, and Trickik's holding onto the gem as long as he can before he just
I meant survival, not society.
swings away.
yeah. Oh, and probably when you do finally let go, you swing like a pendulum down into the water and then he pulls you out.
Yeah.
Because that fountain has now risen out of, this pool and is probably, oh gosh, 50 feet tall? 5 stories thereabout?
Jesus
dwarfs,
Christ.
It dwarfs the rest of this town.
That's a fucking fountain.
Nothing else here is over 2 stories. Alright, but, stranger, Arcana. Oh my god, there is so much magic here, it is hard to take it all in. Same for the occult and religion, there's bits of it here and there. You're in a bazaar. There are all sorts of people, your people, wandering around, all shapes, sizes, colors. It's almost overwhelming. Some of them are, in these brightly lit, almost like uniforms. Some people are in these daytime, what you would recognize as like, workmen's outfits, farmers' outfits, things like that. There are happy people, there are sad people, there are angry people, there's all sorts of in-between people. It's a bazaar, and it is frankly a little bit of an overload. Survival?
Gotcha.
Well, you have to look at a lot of this stuff, and you're like, I know the name for that. Why, though? I don't remember. Or, I remember those are used for that one thing. You know what? I don't remember anymore, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And let's see, survival in nature. Well, this is a man-made town, very much, or should I say, an Androphan-made town.
Oh.
Everyone here is an Androphan, or an android. There we go. It is crazy. And you don't know why you know this, but it's an android town. The name of this little place is called Tescu, and it's market day. Maybe you come to those conclusions as Trickik and Silrin sit down.
I know this place. As you can see, these are my people.
And maybe at this point, one of them, maybe a couple that's walking by kind of turns and, oh, it's the Magister. Hey, Magister. And continue on their way.
Yeah, Trickik looks over at Silrin, then is like, there were no statue here before, now many statue people, what do?
Try to blend in. As I pull up my hood and activate my wonderful magical cloak.
Oh, you bastard! Yeah, trick
All
it
right,
just
so
like
I will say, when they do that, they pay neither of you any mind. No one has made eye contact with either of you,
Oh,
or
that's
even
fine.
looked in your way or acknowledged your presence.
probably because this isn't actually real. I activated some sort of illusion from all the souls that are trapped inside that soul gem. Oops.
Key. But yeah, no,
It's not like Stranger knows anything about the soul gem yet.
Neither does
Yeah, no.
Trickic, or Trickic only
Yeah,
knows that they
I
need
know
to
a
take them
little
to
bit.
Alma.
Cause yeah, like that's all
Oh
I know.
yeah,
'Cause
this is the group of people that don't know exactly what's going on in the story.
No, no, you don't. You have no clue what's going on.
all I know is
But
that she took the last gem and pulled souls out of it, or
and
something
here's
out of it.
well, and I was gonna say this is probably the freshest group of people. You guys haven't had that much contact with soul gems, let alone Deidre.
Yeah. But yeah, I pull
Trickic,
out my
you've
hood.
maybe had like some of this explained to you, but you were picked up fairly recently.
Yet all he really knows, like, he doesn't get what's going on with the soul gems. He thinks the whole gods being trapped inside the gay baby jail is the more important thing.
Did you just call it the gay baby jail?
He
That's
did.
what it is,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know why.
uh, where did you get the gay part from, huh?
That's just the you've never heard of that joke?
No,
Nope.
Gay baby jail?
no.
Oh, I'll have to show you guys. That's just a meme.
Okay.
It's like
All
it's
right.
like someone bonking you on the head and saying go to horny jail.
All right. So what do you guys do? Stranger, people seem to know you as you guys are maybe standing there talking to each other. You're getting waves and smiles, and
Is
Magister, good
anyone
to see you today.
walking past the edge of this, where things turn
Like,
back into desert?
yeah, into the barrier.
You can't see down here because the buildings are in the way.
Uh,
And you can tell, I mean, this is cobblestone that's been laid, but there's grass growing through the cobblestone. And yeah, you guys are, well, all right. I'd have to, I'll have to take the time to set up a proper picture next time. But yeah.
I get. I'm imagining almost like a Greek society because he has a toga, but instead of people, it's
Oh, and it's
androids.
especially, well, Silrid, you know, you're looking, you don't see just togas. You see what almost looks like, you know, you'll see stuff that looks closer to modern day, you know, at least for your version of modern style, you know, outfits. You'll see things that look like uniforms that an army would have worn years ago, centuries ago. Um, think like Napoleon era stuff.
Right.
Then you think, then you see, you know, some outfits that are like, who thought up of that? That's actually like, well, depending on your taste, like really gross, or actually, those are some that's a forward-thinking designer right there.
Someone's got a dress made of fucking raw meat.
I was about to say some.
I'm
Sound
thinking,
like Lady
I'm
Gaga.
thinking, I'm thinking more along the lines of like a jumpsuit.
Out of character, knowing the source of androids, that makes sense.
Okay, but you
Yeah.
know, there's just this mishmash of everything. I mean, there are plenty of people wearing togas, just like Stranger. But there's also people who have chosen to do different styles or different things. Um, you know, well, I was going to say, you guys are standing at the water's edge here, what seems to be in the middle of a market. On, well, as far as you know, Stranger, on market day. You don't know why it's market day, but it's market day.
And
Or I guess you should say you don't know why you know it's market.
just for reference, like, this stuff feels real. Like, we can reach out and touch it. It's not like a mirage or an illusion.
Well, what do you do to confirm that?
He probably reaches out and tries to feel the wall to this giant fountain.
Oh yeah, it feels like solid stone.
If he lightly taps it with his hammer, not to attack it, but just like beep.
Yeah, it resists. It kind of pings when you hit it, just like stone does. Especially this kind of stone. You know that sound because you've hammered away at marble.
Huh.
Well, she didn't want to talk about it because she's marble and she's uppity.
Hmm. Yeah.
Cobblestone beneath your feet feels real. Maybe you kick, a tuft of grass and it feels like you're kicking grass.
He looks back at Silren and is like, it feel real, but it don't be real?
Some
I do not
strange
know.
magic.
It is a lot of magic. What did happened under the sand? Kick.
I see crystal. And he points up at the soul gem. And we supposed to find crystal. Bring back to pool lady. So take smash dash and smash, but not strong enough to do smash.
How big is this gem?
This one?
Looked like it was sounded like it was big enough that Trickett could like wrap himself around it.
Uh-huh. This thing,
Okay.
you guys have seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like one of the giant golden eggs sized from the original one. As big as a child or a goblin. She's a hefty mother.
And why were you supposed to take this gem to the lady?
They contain souls.
She fix it, make it not hold souls. Souls go back to ethereal sea, go to next life, or to next reward.
That is a very good thing if it holds souls. Perhaps these are the people who had those souls, my people. They need to be freed.
We may need more force to remove that gem.
By the way, here the wind is no longer harsh and gritty. Instead, it's like you're down by the waterside. There's that running water smell, that almost sweet kind of smell. Um, the sunlight is no longer harsh. It's gentle. It's still warm, and it still feels like an arid day on a desert plain, but much more manageable, like it's winter, potentially.
Hmm.
So, I was gonna say, yeah.
Definitely not an illusion then.
Yeah, there's no more grit in the air. It almost
We-
feels like, oh my god, is that humidity?
right? Yeah, no, Soren's probably just like, we may need to find someone who knows more about these gems to remove it. Unless you have any ideas. Looking to the other two.
I
Oh,
get that
Magister!
tablet out. I get
Magister,
that
you're
tablet out.
here! I'm so glad you could make it.
I am in need of assistance. Part of this
Mag-
tablet got worn away, and I cannot figure out what the rest of it is. Do you happen to know this information?
It, so the character that's wandered up to you is you can tell, stranger, a young android. Um, they've got a kind of they're sorry. They're thin, they're bright-eyed. They've got this toga on like you, but it's brightly colored. This is like a rich purple with gold lacing on it. And Magister, what do you mean?
I look at the tablet again, make sure it's still worn and
Oh no,
not complete.
it's not worn.
Oh, what does
It
it
is
say?
it is
I'm
brand
sorry,
new.
I was mistaken. What's the
Um
whole text now?
okay. So the whole text let's see. To whom it may the Sparks Note version. To whom it may concern, something uh in there has been an incident here in the village of Tesku. In order to effect a proper egress, I am remaining behind to make sure that the portal closes. If anyone should find this note, know that to preserve this state, find the gem in the fountain and strike it. Only
Jump.
then can only then can we find the opportunity to reverse what Deidre has done. Signed, 56 Magic.
Good job, Tricket. By accident, you have solved the riddle.
Who
Hey, when
is?
in doubt, hit shit.
Magister, could I borrow you for a minute?
What did these people do if, like, when they're trying to talk to Stranger, Trickik is, like, just behind him, jumping up and down, flailing his arms?
They do not notice you at all.
He does that a few times, like, he is, like, bouncing off the ground when he hits it. Like, he's made of rubber. Yeah. Squeak, squeak, squeak. And then he just stops and looks over at Silver and he's like, rude statues.
Magister, are you feeling well?
I am fine. What can I help you with?
Oh, I just wanted to show you the I I wanted to open the stall with your blessing. And so he grabs you by the hand if you allow that to happen
Yeah.
and drags you along to one of these stalls where they're selling you don't know why you know this, but you know they're Tesku pastries. Just kind of they're named that because they are made
Indigenous to the area?
well, they are indigenous to the Tesku Inn, who you kind of now recognize. This young man is, well, this young android, it looks like him, is the owner and, founder, owner, and longtime inhabitant of the Tesku Inn and tavern, of course. But I've done something to change the recipe and I need you to try this. And hands you a warm pastry. You can feel the heat coming from it just out of the oven. As you can see, there's a little clay oven just behind this little stall that is happily crackling away, baking what appears to be more of these pastries.
I'll taste it.
It tastes like home. You have no clue what home tastes like, but this is it.
Well, he'll look
Well,
at the
did it,
young android and say, "These are delicious. You have my blessing."
Oh, good. I changed I changed the powdered salt to more granular salt and used that as a layering on the top, and decided to use the egg wash as a. I'm sorry. You're probably busy. You've got things you need to do today. Just I'm so glad you like them. And hops around, almost skipping around this the around the edge of this stall, and starts shouting, Tesco pastries, Magister approved. And at the mention of Magister approved, there are actually several people actually coming up to the stall and buying pastries.
What
Well,
happens if Trickett tries to go up and get a pastry?
Well, how are you gonna do it?
You said there are like multiple stalls, right?
Yeah, everyone's got something a little different.
Probably goes up to
Some
like
of it's
the
good.
nearest stall and just he looks at it and he feels bad about what he's about to do, but he needs to test it, so he just goes to try and like take something off the stall.
Okay, this first stall you've gone up to is selling fish. Fish you're not familiar with.
Do they smell fishy?
They do smell like fish. Roll me
Oh
a stealth
yeah,
check.
he doesn't care if this is stealing now. He wants the fishy.
Make me a stealth check. And then a thievery roll.
Oh, he's not good at either of them. Actually, he's not bad at stealth.
Well, stealth up. Okay. Now make me a thievery roll.
That he's bad at.
Oh!
You know what? Since we're just here for now, I'm gonna try and fate point that.
Oh!
Better. Not great, but better. He's a cleric.
Hmm. uh, um. Okay. You grab the tail of this fish, and they don't. The stall owner. Yeah, the stall owner. Just this. Kind of larger, burly looking android is looking the other way, and you grab it and it slides, and it's a lot heavier than you think it's going to be when it comes off, a lot bigger too. For reference, maybe Trickick recognizes, is he a big fish person?
Oh, he loves fish. That's why he's like,
Oh,
thieving is bad, but
you've
fish.
grabbed a tuna, a big tuna,
A whole the big tuna
and
kahuna.
it slides off the table and slap right onto the ground, and the shop owner's head kind of jerks around. He hasn't seen you yet. What are you gonna do?
Oh, he's just gonna turn around and start running away. Just squeak, 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 squeak.
He kind of looks at the table, the tuna, and now it's on the ground, and scratches his head and grabs it and puts it back on the table. It felt like a fish, and it smelled like a fish.
And he runs all the way back to Silrin and is hiding under his cloak.
Silrin's invisible.
No, I'm not invisible.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just all it is like it makes me appear more of a background character. So
He's
like
drab
I
and
look like
uninteresting.
I look like I could
Hulk
be
of
like
NPC. Gotcha.
Well,
yeah, like I look like I could be maybe his servant following him around. I've got a mask, a hood up, a cloak. I look drab. It
well,
just
and
gives me like a blood
with the hood and everything pulled up, you might even be able to pass for a citizen,
kind of his goal.
just because of how eclectic the dresses are.
Yep.
Some new, some old, some you've never seen in your life, and some that you've only heard about in the epics.
Now are they speaking the android language? By the way.
They're speaking all sorts of languages, and you can, if you listen into maybe conversations to people strolling by, they have a tendency to wander through different languages. Some you recognize, some you don't.
Huh. Okay.
And the longer they talk, it seems like they're grabbing bits and pieces of other languages and, using them to fit their needs. If, maybe if you had a better grasp of the base language, Androfan, it would almost, you'd be able to tell that what they're doing is kind of what we do with a lot of our language. So we know what someone says when they say "c'est la vie," because
Right.
that's just a saying that we've used so much. It's the same way to them. They're using phrases from languages that are unfamiliar mixed with ones that are to you, and they're kind of using it throughout their language.
Yeah, if you didn't know that what c'est la vie means in context, it literally just means that's life or it
Yeah.
is life, which
Yep.
could mean
Right.
a whole lot of different things.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
in
way
that
the cookie
context,
crumbles.
it's that's the way the
Yeah.
cookie crumbles, that kind of thing.
Or hold your horses.
Right, absolutely.
Saying
And they're
that around
borrowing
someone
from
with,
yeah,
Where, there are no horses!
right.
The word
So,
hors d'oeuvre.
Or the
well,
Bible saying be fruitful and multiply. It's not saying go get a bunch of oranges and do your multiplication tables.
oh fuck. I mean, yes, what I just said, but okay. Um, stranger, what are you doing?
He's giving Trickic the pastry.
Okay, tricky.
Do not know if they can see you, but they can see things you do. They may not actually be here, but it's close enough.
There's like a
You
soft
said
sigh as Silverin just turns to one of the stalls, and he will just ask the guy straight up, just be like, "How much for one of these?"
Okay. I have a table of stalls. I'm very happy. I get to use it.
What
I'm
happens
so
when
happy.
Trickic tries to take a bite out of the pastry?
Trickic?
Or more, shove it into
It
his
is
goblin
a.
maw?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, are you trying to taste it or are you trying to eat it?
He at first it looks like he's going to taste it, but then the goblin in him takes over, and he's just
Okay.
like, ah!
Well, so you've just eaten a cream puff filled with almost like a pudding-like cream and salted, and the center at the very very center is caramel, so it's like a vanilla caramel cream puff. So
Oh, this is wasted on Trickic. This is a This is something sweet and delicacy, and he just
what's
he
that?
doesn't savor it. He just eats it.
What's that, stranger?
I said, "Damn you, Dunkin' Donuts! Why don't you make these? Because that sounds delicious."
Uh, Probably because they're hard to make. I'm sure.
Cream puffs are hard to make, and they're even harder to keep nice.
Cream puffs on their own don't really taste very good, anyways. At
No,
least the
you have to
ones
work
I've
to make
had.
them good.
Yeah.
That's the
Um.
problem with pastries.
Okay, so the stall you turn to is one selling bracelets. There's kind of a uh, maybe you've seen this face before. It's kind of one of those smug looks. She looks like a Karen. We'll put it that way.
Oh.
She's dressed in a she's dressed in a
Aaron
toga.
Android.
And yeah, she's got one of those half smiles on her face. What did you point at? It's a stall that's got a bunch of musical instruments on.
Oh, it would have just been whatever, really. He wasn't.
Okay. We say you probably point towards a flute
Yeah,
next to a
actually, that's
couple
the
of
word that
others.
popped in my head. So,
So she's looking and looks back at you and goes, "For that one, 4 gold."
appreciated. And I turn and walk back towards to a stranger.
Maybe anybody else who's watching as Silrin, walks away, she kind of rolls her eyes and snorts. and goes back to what she's doing.
There, your answer. Now you have your answer. The tricky. And a stranger, because the stranger said he wasn't sure if they could see him. They just saw the effects he was causing.
Well,
You may need
With-
to
go ahead.
act quickly to remove the gem. And hopefully everyone will still be safe if we get it back to a friend.
I
Could free.
agree. But
And
I
I
know
think-
little of handling the gems. Thus I stick to my original plan, fetching someone who would know what to do.
And I think we're going to end here on the yeah, I think we'll just end it here. I think this is a good stopping. So, because this is a recorded, I'm not going to make us do sign-offs because it's really just us here. So, if anybody is watching on the YouTube-averse, thank you. You've watched the first secret stream. I wish I could give you like an achievement. Or like a cookie, maybe? Either way.
They deserve
Thank you
something for the fact that, one, we had a lot of technical difficulties, and two, I forgot to mute everything before I started up, so they had to listen to like the fucking bum bum ba da da da, and also us just talking to ourselves.
Oh,
Besides,
gosh.
they're on YouTube. They already have lots of cookies now.
Oh!
Shots fired. All right.
Oh no!
So this actually, we did what, 2 hours? A little over? Not
Something
quite.
like that.
Something like that. We got a lot done. We got a
2
lot
hours.
done. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and let's just say goodbye. Goodbye.
R.I.P. Fountain.
R.I.P. Fountain.
you.